Now, let's return to our top story. And a woman has died after the caravan she was in was blown off a cliff in Storm Alley on the west coast of Ireland. Strong winds are also causing travel disruption and power cuts, and police in Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland have declared a major incident as they struggle to deal with the weather. To talk more on this, we're joined by Jim Bacon, who's the Managing Director of Weatherquest. Hello to you, Jim. Thanks for joining us. How much notice did we have and how bad is it?
Well, we've known about this storm coming along for quite some time. The modern mathematical models are very good at predicting large features like this. The track we need to resolve a bit more in detail as we get closer to it. But this one's been coming along for quite a while. And the first of the season of the winter storms, named Ali, is currently bringing its strongest gusts to the northwest of the British Isles, particularly across Ireland and into western Scotland. So that's the area that's primarily at risk during the next 6 hours or so.
Is she male or female?
Well, I've taken her to be female, but I suppose you could argue on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know it goes male and female, but I don't know which one comes first. It's only recently that we started naming our storms, haven't we? They've done it in America for years. Only recently have we started to do it. And someone mentioned in the office, I think it was the beginning of the week, to say there seems to be more storms now than there were previously. Or is it just because we can associate with them more because they've got a name?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, because if you were to say, try and describe something like, well, you remember that big storm 3 weeks ago on a Thursday, it wouldn't have quite the same impact, whereas we're always going to be able to relate Storm Alley to the events that we're describing in the news bulletins today. So I guess that does mean we're more likely to remember them. And certainly with the advent of mobile phones and much more likely to see very dramatic video footage of these storms, they make a much bigger impact on people. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's the fact that they're named makes them more memorable, and B, we're also likely to see evidence of them more clearly, whereas ordinarily you perhaps say 20, 30 years ago wouldn't have had much of an imagery of the storm until perhaps a couple of days afterwards.
OK, so where is it coming from and how long will it last? Well, and how concerned should we be? There you go, 3 in 1.
Well, there we are. I think the first thing is to say, like a lot of our storms at this time of the year, this one is going to be one of a sequence which you often get around the equinox, the September, early part of October and into November, a stormy part of the year. It develops over the Atlantic because at that time of the year you can get some quite large temperature contrasts with warm air to the south of a weather front, very cold air to the north of it, and the contrast does generate a lot of energy because of the strong jet stream to make these storms grow to become quite powerful features. This one is going to move through fairly quickly. They do typically move quite fast at this stage, so it's during the rest of today and overnight, and then the winds slowly decrease. But there will doubtless be others. In fact, we've got the possibility of another major low developing later in the weekend. So it's a time of the year when we perhaps should be ready for these, and we should also take note of weather forecasts.
OK, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.